Today we're going to go over logging into your Connecticut collection system. You will receive a URL for your system to type into the browser. Typically it will be the name of your institution followed by .ctcollections.org. Once you enter that, you should end up on a screen that looks like this, Collective Access. Your institution's name will be at the top. This is our sandbox system, our test system to try things out in. You'll see a field for username and password. These are things that you should also be receiving from the project coordinator as well. Once you enter your username and password, click Login, and you should land on your dashboard page. This page is customizable to your login, so what you have on your dashboard may not be exactly what other users in your institution have. They can customize it however they'd like. To do that, on the upper right-hand side, click Edit Dashboard. For the most part, this Counts widget will be on everybody's page when you start off. For your new system. It's just a quick, easy way to see how many records are in your system. So then create Edit Dashboard. Over here, this will give you instructions on how to add widgets to your dashboard and how to edit them. So what we're going to do is add a widget. Click Add Widget on the upper right. And your options are listed here. One of the things I like to have just because it's fun is random object. This will pick out a random object for your collection and display the image. It's just nice to be able to see some of the things that you have in your collection sometimes. We're going to add something else as well. Let's add widget. What else would we like? We want to see recent logins. We want to see who's been logging into the system. So we add that. That shows up here at the bottom. You can drag and drop this and move any of the widget windows around actually where you'd like. So let's see if we can get this guy up here. So now that's moved over here. We'd also like to add one of the searches. You can add save searches, search by set, couple of different things. I like search by set. That's a good, quick shortcut for folks who are working on groups of items together. So we're actually going to move this guy up a little bit too. We want to be able to see that and have that show up first instead of the recent logins. And also one of the other things, you'll see this at the instructions at the top, but any of the widgets that have the little eye, when you click on that, it'll give you some parameters that you can set for that widget. We want to see logins occurring less than 24 hours ago, or maybe 48 hours ago. You can change that as needed. And we're going to save that. So once we're done with our widgets, this is how we want it set up for now. So we're just going to click Done. And anytime you log into your system with your username, you'll be able to see your default dashboard. And this can be changed anytime you would like. So next we're going to talk about adding new logins. So once you receive your initial administrator login for your institution's instance, we're going to want to add additional users. So different people, different positions at your institution may want to have different security levels, different setups, and that kind of thing. So in the upper right, we're going to go to Manage, Access Control, and you'll see a list on the left-hand side of pages for user login, user groups, and access roles. Access roles are come with the default are administrators, catalogers, and researchers. These roles have different levels of permissions, and they can be tweaked on a very minute, granular level as needed. You can also create additional access roles as well. it can get very fussy, so sometimes you really do have to take some time and go through everything to decide what you may want and how it may want to differ from some of your other access roles. So right now we're going to deal with user logins. So this is currently the logins that we have for full user access in the sandbox, and we want to create a new user. So click on the plus on the top right. You may see some already existing user information. Go ahead and type over this. It's not going to mess anything up because we'll be saving as a new thing. So username. So Vinny Volunteer has just started at my institution, so I'm going to create a login for him because he's probably not going to want to have, we're not going to want him to have administrator level, we're going to want him to have a cataloging level access. So username, this is not case sensitive, but we recommend sticking with a system and not making things too complex. Because don't forget, this person's going to have to type this username in every time as well. So we recommend not using spaces as well. So username, we usually go with the first initial last name set up at my institution. So he is going to be V Volunteer. Is going to be his username. So user class, we want him to be full access versus public access only. He wants to have full access to the system. The password, this is case sensitive. So make it a strong password, but don't make it anything too crazy that's going to be hard to type in each time. So type it, you're going to confirm your password. If it doesn't match, it'll yell at you. So first name, I'm going to put him here. For purposes of this, I'm just going to use the system's email, but you can use the person's email however you'd like to do it. We're just going to use ours for now. SMS number is just a text message number, like a cell phone number. You don't need to do that unless somebody wants to receive messages from the system. Related entity is optional. Make sure that you're checking off account is activated. If this little box is not checked, the account will not be activated and they will not be able to log in. So some of the roles that we have down here, we're going to have Vinny be a cataloger. So we're going to click that. We also want him, there's user groups as well, which we'll talk about in a minute. We have this split out into administrators, catalogers, and everyone. We want him to be in the cataloger group and the everyone group. So click on your control button and then left click and continue to click on your control button and left click again if you want to select more than one group. You can do that for groups, you cannot do that for roles. Yeah, you can fill in the rest of this information, the organization address and all that if you want to, but that is not required information. So now we click Save and make sure that there weren't any errors. I'm not going to worry about saving his name for this, but we can see that now there is Vinny Volunteer, the address, it is active. If you ever need to go in and change a password or update any information, you can click on the Edit button here. But what we do want to do is make sure that we log out and log in as Vinny to make sure this is working. So we're going to log out. We want to log in again. And this time we're going to be Vinny. And click Login. And it comes to the dashboard. So it works, so that's great. If Vinny wants to edit the dashboard and create his own widgets or line up his own widgets to look at, he can. Either have him watch this or just let him know what to do on the click edit and give him a hint. I like having something to see when I get into the dashboard. It really makes me feel like I'm actually in the system. So we're going to log out and log back in as ourselves. So we're going to also just talk quickly about user groups. So again, similar to creating a new individual user, we're going to go to Access Control. And this time on the far left, click on User Group. So currently what we have in this system are administrators, catalogers, and everyone. So this is if we want just the catalogers to have a group together, or we want everybody at the museum to know, to be able to get into certain things. This relates very much to sets and who's allowed to see and access and view different sets. So we're going to create a new group. So say that we wanted the exhibitions team to be in a group together, so they all had access to selecting items or working in exhibitions and that kind of thing. So we're going to say exhibition team, and it'll create a code for you, but we're just going to do our own little shorthand here so we know what it is. So create a quick description. So we're just going to say people who are involved in planning and execution. It's going to yell at me because I can't type, of exhibitions. So for public use, no, we don't need them to be public use. The roles for this, we can include administrators, catalogers, whoever. It doesn't mean that you're giving them this kind of access, but that's who we can include that'll see those groups available. So we're going to click Save. And now we have exhibition team. So we're going to go back to user logins for a second and go to Vinny and go to edit his page. So now where he's already part of the catalogers and the everyone, he's also going to give us a hand with exhibitions. So now we can click Control and left click on exhibition team. So he's also in that group as well. Click Save, and he'll be all set there. So that way, whenever you have levels of access for different user groups, those groups will show up and you can select a whole group of people that are on a team versus having to individually add, your whole exhibition team of 10 people individually. You can just add that whole group all at once. Okay, good luck. Enjoy creating your new users, and hopefully everybody has a lot of volunteers and interns and helpers in there to help you get some of your collections worked on.